Hello guys, welcome back to our nightmare, life in the Adirondacks. I'm Rick, and this is Two Brothers Outdoors. The wind is blowing about 35 miles an hour today. Snow's blowing, we got lake effect going on, typical same winters we've been dealing with. I got everything dug out so I could open up the doors on the mill. We are getting gusts up to 55 miles an hour, so during this video, if you hear a roar in the background, it's just the wind. All right, let's go inside, cut up a log where it's nice and warm. All right, guys, we got another one of these giant logs to saw up today. This is the 5th log up in the tree. Let me get a tape measure real quick. We'll see what the diameter of this one is. It's 28 inches one way, 32 inches the other. But this log is a little different than the last one we cut up. This one's got a swoop in it, so I gotta decide whether I want to cut it so that the swoop is in the log to make like a curved bar top, or whether I want to turn it up on its side, maybe get a possible oval out for a sign on one side, but we won't get as many wide pieces out of it. So we're going to take a look at this and see what we want to do first, and then we'll go from there. I know in one of our previous videos we talked about this being a cant hook and not a PV. Well, Saturday Tim and I were dealing with this log. I got my finger in the wrong spot and this hit it. I call this every name in the book but a cant hook, or PV for that matter. Okay, I've decided to stand this log up so that the hump is upwards. We'll be able to get an oval out of it. Maybe I'll cut a 2-inch thick oval, and somebody might be able to use it for a coffee table or something. Trying to get the most out of this log and make it the most appeasing for somebody to take the pieces. All right, so if you'll notice back here, I got pieces of metal set up on the wall. They're between the mill track and the wall, and the reason we do that, it makes it easier to slide this log. This log will turn easier once it hits this metal, and then the metal being at an angle like this, it pushes it back to the track. If I put the log stops up, they're not as tall as the log, and it causes somewhat of a problem. It tries to bind on the log stop. So, let's see if we can turn this over and get it upright where this part is up. Notice I'm being very careful with this. I do not want to get my fingers mashed. So, we got it standing up. If I can slide it over without it turning. Oh, I don't know if it's going to work or not. Let's see what we have to do here. Got to keep it from rolling backwards. Trying to hook into the knots so that we don't mar up the bark. When the logs are this big, the bark doesn't hold the PV when you're trying to turn it, and therefore makes a mar mark in the bark. A lot of people want the bark on this when they purchase it. Actually, this isn't looking too bad. Everything's going as planned. Got the log stop up on this side. We'll put these bars out of the way real quick. All right, let's see what we got here. Looks like I might be able to lock it in just like that. All we can do is try. What's the worst that can happen? The log jump off the mill, break a blade. Nice thing about having a mill in the building, is that even though the wind is blowing 100 miles an hour out there, and we got snow up to here, it's relatively warm in here right now, and it's out of the weather. And my mill is out of the weather. And that's the number one thing right there. One thing nice about my sawmill is that I have modified this mill a lot. And this mill will typically go higher than the Oscar 30 or the original HFE 30 that this mill is. I can go up to almost 31 inches with this mill. All right, came up with a pretty decent oval right there. I gotta decide how thick I want to make it. Maybe I'll go down just a little bit more. I want to keep bark on both sides. So this is where I was. Sometimes just a 1/4 inch makes a big difference in the size of an oval. I've got a vibration, and I'm not sure what it is, but I'm thinking the pulley tire over here is going bad. So I'm going to have to drop the head, take the shroud off, drop the bearing, and I got a new pulley tire up there. I guess it's time to put it on. Coldest day of the year, right? Well, guys, that was quite an ordeal. I replaced the tire, but I can tell you right now, you don't do this when it's cold. That was a pain in the neck. And then I ended up changing the drive belt as well, because it was burned. But we should be good to go now. A new drive belt popped off. This mill has been doing so good that today, it's been a day. It's so cold that the wood freezes right back to itself. All right, guys, I cut this 2 inches thick. Let's see, it's an oval like a sign, and people buy them as signs. Too bad it's only a 1/4 inch thick. That'd be another good one to get rid of, Sal. Okay. We are ready to roll this log. But boy, my luck's running right now. That might turn into a major project as well. Well, guys, it's been quite the afternoon. Feel like I've rebuilt the mill. All because of this belt, which I guess it was time to change it. It's been on the mill since I've owned it. I've replaced this one a couple of times, but this one I have not. Got a new one on it now. I guess tomorrow we'll finish this up. As long as we have no problems with the mill, this will be pretty quick. Won't take very long. All right, guys, thanks for coming along. Hit that subscription button, and I will see you later.